In a world of epic proportions, there is only one man who give you the most explosive video entertainment in the world, and that's Notorious XRP.
Bitcoins and why now cryptocurrency?
Well, Bitcoins, I called the top of the market in December 2017 when it was $19,600. I said, if you have Bitcoin, sell half, keep half. This is the top. Nobody listened to me. If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, and you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And a microsecond, whoop, like that.
Have you here. We've been having conversations here in this committee on this issue. And Chair Bear, in your testimony, you urged the Fed to fully explore the use of digital currency, including cryptocurrency based on a distributed ledger technology and effectuating real-time settlement between banks. Why do you think the Fed should consider developing a central bank digital currency that could eventually be used by members of the public to transfer money directly between?
Well, it's still maturing technology, but it's maturing rapidly. And it is clear, having a distributed ledger that all banks would have access to, that you don't need an intermediary, you don't need a TCH, you don't need a centralized ledger and that single point of failure. The digital transfer is directly from the sending bank to the recipient bank. So yes, I think it needs to be explored. It's still maturing. No other central banks have done it, but a lot of other central banks are looking at it. And I hope that is something that they will continue to explore as they build this system. It also helps address some of the interoperability issues that we've been discussing earlier, but I would like to just, Mr. Hunter has insisted that RTP cannot be interoperable, and I would just note that kind of reinforces their monopoly position if his view is that their system, real-time payment system, is incompatible with interoperability. And interoperability is a two-way street, and I would hope that TCH would sit down with the Fed and try to agree on common standards and figure out a way these systems can most efficiently interact. If he wants to say no, nobody else can play, then, if you don't have the Fed, then that just solidifies their monopoly position as a single provider of this crucial function.
Thank you. And President George, to what extent is digital currency and the future of it being, are you considering that as you move forward with this payment system?
Federal Reserve and other central banks are looking closely at how this evolving technology is affecting the financial system, and will continue to do so.
Are you watching what's going on with Libra?
We are watching that also. So the full range from distributed ledger to digital currencies very much under study as we see how those unfold.
They say no.
People should know when they're conquered.
What did you say about Bitcoin? I didn't hear what you said. You said...
I think anyone who talks to me about price or any model...
Yes, the volume, but don't worry about where it trades on any given day. Does it have inherent value? Is it digital gold?
Absolutely. I absolutely believe in that. I think... so I'm a computer scientist, and I think in the last decade, the single biggest technical breakthrough that has happened in different areas, Bitcoin is probably at the top of the list.
Right. But the electricity, the internet, and then the internet of money, Andrew. That's,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about Amazon in 1998, where people didn't understand anything about it. Right?
Save this video for 50 years from now. You could say it was
I'm hanging it all on.
Thank you.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
At my signal, unleash hell.
The issue of digital currency is a real issue. And so rather than thinking that there's another existing currency that may replace the dollar, I think one real issue that regulators and the world is going to have to get its head around is this notion of digital currency to facilitate international payments in particular and reduce the friction and the cost of that internationalization of commerce.
Load the catapults. Infantry form up for advance. Archers ready.
The Greek philosopher said this, and amongst others, I don't see much of a future. But the sun is going to gobble up the earth. I'm 6'1", 225, a fucking twisted steel and panther piss. And I can take 10 snowflakes at a time and rip their fucking head off and shit down their neck. Maybe this group 20 at a time. But I'm a dying breed. I'm a Neanderthal. I understand that. I'm sad to say that because I know it's a sad commentary for the human race. But the hottest of hot is cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. That is sizzling hot. Every time Trump rattles his sword, cybersecurity, and like some cybersecurity guys just stole 40 million in Bitcoin, it's hot.
3 weeks from now,
I will be harvesting my crops. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. Hold the line. Stay with me. If you find yourself alone, riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled. For you are in Elysium, and you're already dead! Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
The fourth industrial revolution is just beginning, and a new economy is emerging. And you're here because that new economy demands a new finance. A new finance to serve the digital economy, a new finance to support the major transitions underway across the globe, and a new finance to increase the financial sector's resilience. A new finance with products that are more cost-effective, that are better tailored.
Macro perspective, look at our conversation about trade flows. From a product perspective, a lot about real-time payments. And then, of course, innovation will lead to discussion about blockchain and, to a certain extent, cryptocurrency.
On Facebook, what's the challenge for banks to fight back against a cryptocurrency?
I think, as we said, it's an ecosystem. It's not about fighting against. We do interact with crypto assets. We believe, this will be in the future an asset that banks will need to deal with it. And the fact that our platform is open, we are able to interact through APIs to any vendors in the market.
And Max, thank you very much for joining us today. And Max Judd, the CMO of Temenos, taking all our questions on fintech.
Why Bitcoin? And will you introduce everyone else? I mean, I know Bitcoin has by far the largest market share at this moment, but there are plenty of other cryptocurrencies out there. We have some XRP enthusiasts out there that I know watch the show. What about these ones?
We're starting with Bitcoin because we talk to our customers and that's what they want to trade. Right. We also see real utility happening on the Bitcoin network, commerce. So there are many thousands of businesses that accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. So starting with our marketplace, that's not our end goal. That's the place to allow the fair, efficient price discovery process to happen. From there, Back's doing a lot of work to help provide real utility and value to Bitcoin, and we expect that to happen on the payment side.
There's lots of competition coming, potentially. Seed CX, True Digital, ErisX, you could name a whole load of them. Afraid?
No, competition's a good thing.
Businesses increasingly expect transactions to be settled in real time and payments across borders to be indistinguishable from those across the street. And to help private innovation meet these demands, the bank is leveling the playing field between old and new. As you may know, until recently, only commercial banks had direct access to the core of the payment system, RTGS. And that made sense in an old world arranged around a series of hubs and spokes, but it's increasingly anachronistic in the new distributed finance that's emerging. So now we at the bank are making it easier for a broader set of firms to plug in and compete with banks. We're the first G20 central bank to do so. Already, 5 payment service providers are members of RTGS, and there's a pipeline of another 20 firms looking to join. Responding to demands from innovators, RTGS will now also provide API access to users to read and write payments data, as well as implementing a system whereby each payment will be tagged with information in a standardized format across the world, speeding up settlement and facilitating KYC, AML.
And then my final piece, I want to go to crypto, which we've talked about a lot. I think Mr. Davidson hit it well. Blockchain is here. It's a technology. It's being developed. But now folks are moving to Singapore, Switzerland, the UK because of the clarity. And my concern is what I heard earlier was until we see it operate, we don't know whether it's a security or not. When I talk to the companies, what they would say is, well, we're not going to operate until we know whether we're going to be dinged as a security or not. So we have this chicken and egg piece. They move overseas, and they say, we'll build our businesses over here. Once the U.S. figures it out, we'll consider coming back. That I find concerning, and I guess I would ask, when can we expect more guidance? We've only had 2 no action letters. When can we expect something a little bit more concrete from the SEC? Or what are you doing to get there so that we can just provide some certainty here?
One of the more difficult things about this, though, is each project is a bit different.
They are, but your job is to get this right.
And we're believe me, we have people who are focused on doing this, like Commissioner Personnel, utility tokens that are truly for use and get rid of the frictions needed with moving around. I may have too much computing power. You may have too little, and I'm able to shift it to you with a token in a very great. Fabulous. But if you're trying to build a server farm with those tokens and give people the return, that's a...
Thank you. I know it's hard. With my final second, I just want to encourage you to go faster. Okay. We need it. Thank you.
I wonder if you worry at all, though, that central banks are running low on bullets.
Central banks have been able to invent new tools when nobody suspected that they would. Whether you look at quantitative easing in its different incarnations, whether you look at forward guidance, whether you look at macroprudential measures, it's incredible how much has been designed, invented, and created in order to adjust.
And the UK also says we're going to continue to evolve the guidance as the industry and the innovation evolves along with it. And what the UK said was that we're going to put these tokens into three buckets: a security token, a utility token, and an exchange token. And if you're a security token, again, if I sell you a token and I give you a right, title, or interest to my company, you're going to be treated and supervised and regulated as a security. If not, you're going to be treated as a utility token or an exchange token, or in some cases a hybrid of both. XRP was put in the bucket of being a hybrid utility and exchange token. Then they didn't get distracted by things like, is there secondary trading in the token? And both of the no action letters that the SEC issued both specifically said that there can be no secondary trading in the token. Secondary trading is an indicator of speculation. It's not necessarily an indicator of investment. The FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, quite wisely said that people speculate in a lot of things. They speculate in wine, they speculate in cars, they speculate in real estate, they speculate in fiat currency, but speculation doesn't equate with investment. So again, while perhaps not as welcoming as Switzerland, I don't think the UK is saying we want to create a crypto valley in the UK, but they recognize that they're dealing with innovation, and they recognize that they're dealing with creativity, and regulation should not be the enemy of innovation. In the US, I think unless we get some additional clarity relatively soon, we're going to slide into a situation where regulation is going to be contra to innovation, and then the innovation is going to flee the US. And globally, we're an international company. We have about 220 customers right now throughout the world, and that is fast growing.
Maybe I'm a bird following the seasons. This is what I've learned. I'm different for a reason. Kept the engine on, never stay too long. I'm alright, I don't mind being restless. Something